Well, good morning, everybody. I want to welcome everybody to the April 9, 2019 Board of Commissioners meeting. And this morning, we're very pleased to have Father Darren Vroon from the St. James Episcopal Church to lead us in invocation, followed by firefighter Jimmy Gregory from Station 40 leads in the Pledge of Allegiance. Those who are willing and able, please stand.
Let us pray. Almighty God, who hast given us this good land for our heritage, we humbly beseech thee that we may always prove ourselves a people mindful of thy favor and glad to do thy will. Bless our land with honorable industry, sound learning, and pure manners. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogance, and from every evil way. Defend our liberties, and fashion into one united people the multitudes brought hither out of many kindreds and tongues. Endue these thy servants who hold office in this county with the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the welfare of all people. In the time of prosperity, fill our hearts with thankfulness, and in the day of trouble, suffer not our trust in thee to fail. All which we ask through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Father, thank you very much. Also, firefighter Gregory, appreciate your coming this morning. All right, we have a number of proclamations, presentations, and I get to be the honor of being the first four. If I could have representatives of the Cobb County Boys and Girls Club. Whereas the young people of Cobb County are tomorrow's leaders, many young people need professional youth services to help them achieve and address their full potential. The Cobb County Boys and Girls Clubs serve the youth who need us most in our community. And whereas Boys and Girls Clubs instill young people with self-confidence to believe they can succeed at anything they can put their mind to, and stand at the forefront of efforts in academic success, healthy lifestyles, and leadership. And whereas Boys and Girls Club organization in Cobb County help ensure young people have a safe, supportive place to spend time and provide them with quality youth development programs. Therefore, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April 8th through 12th, 2019 as Boys and Girls Club Week in Cobb County. We encourage all residents to join us in recognizing and commending Boys and Girls Clubs for providing the young people of our communities with comprehensive and effective youth development services. Signed this date, 9th day of April 2019 by all members of the Board of Commissioners. Congratulations. Photographed by a terrorist. All right, now next executive order, proclamation is for Alcohol Awareness Month. For those representatives, if you please come. Melissa Foster, good to see you this morning. Thanks for coming up. Whereas from 2013 to 2017, there were more than 75 alcohol-related traffic fatalities in Cobb County, and in 2017 alone, there were more than 365 drunk driving deaths in Georgia. This translates to almost a quarter of all traffic fatalities in the state that year. And whereas Excessive drinking can lead to many health problems that can significantly shorten a person's life. Yet almost 17% of adults in Georgia drink excessively. Drinking by those under the age of 21 is linked to 189,000 emergency room visits. Children who drink are also more likely to be victims of violent crime, to be involved in alcohol-related traffic crashes, and have serious alcohol school-related problems. Therefore, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April 2019 as Alcohol Awareness Month in Cobb County. We encourage parents, teachers, and all residents to support efforts that provide early education about alcoholism and addiction and support families facing these very serious challenges. Signed this 9th day of April 2019 by all members of the Board of Commissioners. Okay, let's go ahead. The Advocates for Crime Victims' Rights Week. Thanks for coming this morning. Wow, all right. Is there a bonus?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to shake all your hands.
Good morning.
Yeah, thanks for coming this morning. Thanks, young man. Thanks for coming. Good to see you here. Boy, this is impressive. Yes, yes, wow. No wonder we got such a great program. Holy Toledo. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and all that you do. Wonderful.
Thanks for having us.
Good, thank you. Good, good morning. All right. Good morning to all of you. Thanks for coming this morning. Yes, wow. I'm just blown away. I'm not even going to read this thing. I'm just going to give you the proclamation. All right, thanks for coming. All right. Well, this is very impressive. Whereas, no, I'm going to read it all. I'm going to read it all. Crime can leave a lasting impact on a person regardless of age, national origin, race, creed, religion, gender, sexual orientation, immigration, or economic status. An average of 1.2 million violent crimes and 9 million property crimes are reported in America each year, affecting individuals, families, and communities. And whereas the Cobb County District Attorney and Solicitor General's victim witness units provide, get this number, 153,505 services to 25,759 victims in fiscal year 18. The staff works diligently to serve and rebuild their trust and restore hope to victims and survivors. This county is committed to honor the rights of victims, their right to be heard, and to be treated with fairness, integrity, dignity, and respect, and working to meet their needs to rebuild their trust in the criminal justice and social service systems. And whereas Cobb County is dedicated to build resilience in our communities and a better future for all our victims and survivors. We want to express our gratitude and appreciation for those community members, victim service providers, and criminal justice professionals. Now, therefore, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the week of April 7 through 13 as Crime Victims' Rights Week. We reaffirm this county's commitment to respect and enforce victims' rights and address their needs throughout the year. Signed this 9th day of April 2019 by all of us on the Cobb County Board of Commissioners. Thank you for all that you do.
Mr. Chairman, we thank you for the proclamation, but more so than that, we thank you for your commitment of resources and personnel for this very important thing. You know, the victims of crimes come to the court system not by their choice, but by the dastardly deeds of somebody else. So we appreciate the commitment that this county has made to providing these services, and we appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners and Rob, for the opportunity to be here this morning. I would just like to recognize that we have police, we have prosecutors, we have advocates, we have crime victims, we have Live Safe Resources, Solicitor's Office, police, prosecutors, and Safe Path Children's Advocacy Center here represented for to bring to light the plight of crime victims and to recognize that they have needs far beyond what the criminal justice system can provide for them. And we work really hard in Cobb County with the support of the commissioners, with the support of the board, with the support of our nonprofits and criminal justice system combined to provide those services for victims. And Mr. Chairman, if you would indulge me after the picture, we have a video on victims' rights that we would like to share with the community. Thank you.
If you can't see me, then I can't see you. One, two, three. More. Thank you.
Good job.
You have the video? Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Victims of crime can be anybody. They are any race, any ethnicity, any age, any demographic.
It's my experience that victims don't come from any one socioeconomic demographic. Crime basically crosses all boundaries.
The impact of crime is far-reaching. Crime impacts far more than just the individual. It impacts families, it impacts the community, it impacts people's places of work, it impacts people's places of worship.
Most of the time, we are interacting with people when they are in crisis, or could be that they're at a low point in their life with the situation that they're coming for help with.
In our line of work, collaboration is critical. We would not see children if we did not collaborate with law enforcement, defects, and the DA's office.
We've talked a lot today about collaboration and about the overall improvement in our criminal justice system and victim services. And that kind of goes along with this quote. It's by Mahatma Gandhi. A small body of determined spirits fired by an unquenchable faith in their mission can alter the course of history.
Many times when we have sexual assaults and rapes, we can have a victim advocate from Live Safe come. They're always open to coming. Sometimes they can sit in on interviews if it makes the victims feel more comfortable. We need the victim to be comfortable in speaking with us so they can disclose everything to us. What they think may not be important may be a major key piece of evidence that we need.
So it's very helpful to have our advocates located in the Cobb County Police Department Special Victims Unit. They're also right next door to Safe Path, so if there's any child abuse going on as well, they can all collaborate.
So my job at Safe Path is to oversee the intervention department, which is the department that provides all the initial services to children who come through our center where there are allegations of abuse.
Talking with the advocate gives them an opportunity to talk to someone other than law enforcement and to really think about what options they have and what their next steps are going to be. And the advocate can discuss safety with them regardless of what they choose to do.
In the criminal justice system, the systems-based advocates are there to provide the resources for those needs to be met. And we can't provide those resources without our community partners. We depend on our community partners for counseling, for clothing, for food, for medical needs. So a lot of what we do as a victim advocate in the criminal justice system is collaborate and partner with other agencies to meet the individual needs of that person.
Live Safe Resources is what you would call a dual agency in that we serve victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. We have the 40-bed emergency shelter, and that is accessed through our 24-hour crisis line. We also have a housing program that helps victims get into sort of a longer-term housing situation. We also have 2 advocates that sit on the Georgia Sexual Assault Kit Initiative Cold Case Task Force, and they collaborate there with law enforcement and prosecutors.
Our job on the advocacy side is to refer for services, offer other follow-up services that we house there at our center, and then connect them with resources in the community.
The most important thing that we as victim advocates in the criminal justice system provide is education about the system. What we can do, what we can't do, all the while allowing the victim the opportunity to participate in what is going on with the criminal case.
Victim services have definitely come a long way. The criminal justice response to these types of crimes continues to improve. Currently, there is a push to develop more sexual assault nurse examiner programs across the state. There is a lot more available in the way of law enforcement training, training for advocates, prosecutors, and judges.
No one is ever not a victim. I am always a victim, but I can move to surviving with the right resources and the right assistance from service providers.
There is a quote by Bishop Desmond Tutu that I think is a perfect fit for our work and all agencies, I think, that serve crime victims, and it's about hope. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all the darkness.
Thank you. And our last proclamation, at least for me, is associated with our previous presentation. So members of the representatives of the Child Abuse Prevention Month, if they'd come forward, please. You can do whatever you... Nobody ever says no to you, Ginger.
Was raised by a Marine. Yes.
Yeah, blow on it. Okay, whereas child abuse is a significant problem in the United States and the effects can be traumatic and long-lasting, it occurs at all economic, socioeconomic levels, across ethnic and cultural lines, within all religions, and at all levels of education. And whereas Safe Paths Children's Advocacy Center is a private, nonprofit organization founded by the Coalition for Child Abuse Prevention and is governed by a volunteer board of directors comprised of prominent professionals and residents, Safe Path Children's Advocacy Center staff planners with the Cobb community to improve the lives of children advocates and abuse by reducing the trauma to children and their non-offending caregivers. And whereas Safe Path Children's Advocacy Center is fully accredited at the national level by the National Children's Alliance and is a full member of the Children's Advocacy Center for Georgia, Safe Path serves as a mentor site for new developing and existing child advocacy centers around the country. Under the guidance, dedication, and vision of its board of directors, Safe Path has provided approximately, get this number, 16,000 child victims and their non-offending caregivers more than 84,000 units of service since the center's inception in 1995. Now, therefore, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April Child Abuse Prevention Month in Cobb County and commend Safe Paths Children's Advocacy Center for its unwavering commitment to helping better the lives of victims of all forms of child abuse. Given this 9th day of April 2019 by all members of the Cobb County Board of Commissioners. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Say just a couple words.
Sure will. The people that are up here on the in front of the commissioners today literally saved so many children's lives. Safe Path would not be what we are without the community, without law enforcement, without the Department of Family and Children's Services, without the District Attorney's Office, and without the Cobb County Commissioners' support throughout the years. When you really look at it, there's one thing we all have in common. I continue to say it. Doesn't matter what political flavor you have, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter what race, what sexual orientation, we were all children once. And we're here today as healthy, thriving adults because of the people in our community, in our homes, and in our families that allowed us to grow up in a safe community. Our vision is a community free of child abuse. We're there from the beginning. The folks here are there in the end to protect the children. Kim, you were part of the beginning organization here. You were on the team that hired me. Good choice, bad choice. No, so, oh good, thank you. So thank you all very much, and we have children happy today because of what you all have done.
Thank you. Commissioner Cupid has a presentation.
Good morning. Is Emil here this morning? Okay, great.
After those last two groups, we got one guy.
Come join me. Good morning. I'm happy to have Emil with us today, and he's going to help us bring attention to a growing condition in our community. Whereas sarcoidosis is an inflammatory disease that affects how the body's organs function, this disease is characterized by an overactive immune system, resulting in the growth of inflammatory cells throughout the body and tissue and organ damage. It typically affects the lungs and lymph nodes, but those with sarcoidosis may also experience symptoms related to other organs, such as the eyes, liver, salivary glands, sinuses, kidneys, heart, bones, muscles, brain, skin, and nervous system. And whereas sarcoidosis was first recognized more than 100 years ago, yet the cause remains unknown. Research suggests that bacteria, viruses, or chemicals may trigger its onset. Once considered rare, sarcoidosis is now relatively common and affects people worldwide, including about 200,000 in the United States. Although the disease can occur in individuals of any age or race, it is more frequent among adults between the ages of 20 and 40 in certain ethnic groups. And whereas Sarcoidosis Awareness Month helps increase public awareness and promote greater understanding, many organizations and people work tirelessly to increase knowledge of the disease through event outreach, educational opportunities, and screening programs that promote life-saving diagnostic testing for early detection. The Atlanta Sarcoidosis Support Group will host a 5K at Panola Mountain State Park at Alexander Lake Trail on April 13th. And whereas Illuminate the Night, Shine a Light on Sarcoidosis is another unique event that will be held on April 13th to help raise awareness. This national effort will illuminate prominent landmarks and buildings in purple, supporting patients living with a disease. Now, therefore, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April 2019 as Sarcoidosis Awareness Month in Cobb County. We honor those living with the disease, thank those working to raise awareness, and encourage residents to learn more and help improve treatment options. This, the 9th day of April 2019. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, just real quickly, I don't want to bore people, but you know, it's a disease that people probably haven't heard of. How many of you in this room have? I have a father that died of it. I have an uncle that died of it. I have a brother and a sister that suffer and live with it now. We're trying to raise awareness and money to help people. It's a lot more prevalent than it's realized. So I just wanted to say that. I'll be going down to the national run in New Orleans, and the national run was actually here last year.
Oh, excellent. Good, good. I don't know how many of you know the late comedian Bernie Mac, but he died of complications with this and at a very early age. So, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and take a picture. Okay. Get in front of the seat.
Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Commissioner Burrow has a presentation.
Good morning, everyone. It's my honor to recognize the Sons of the American Revolution today with the proclamation for Patriots' Day coming up. Wayne and his entourage. This is one of my favorite groups. They do so much to preserve our history. Whereas April 19th marks the date in 1775 when the towns of Lexington and Concord, Massachusetts were marched upon by the British regulars in an effort to confiscate munitions of the local militia. And whereas the resulting shot heard round the world and the rout of the Redcoats are now celebrated as Patriots' Day. And whereas on April 19, 1778, Colonel Samuel Elbert, commanding 3 Georgia Navy galleys, Lee, Washington, and Bullock, encountered 3 British ships in the Frederica River near St. Simon's Island. And whereas after 5 hours of naval action, the British ships were captured by Colonel Elbert and the Georgia Navy, a victory which boosted the morale of all Georgia patriots and caused the British to delay their invasion of Georgia by more than 8 months. And whereas Patriots' Day serves to remind citizens of our revolution and the sacrifices endured during the years of struggle by patriots such as Captain John Collins for American independence. And whereas the descendant of the soldiers who fought in the American Revolution encouraged the community to proclaim April 19th of each year as Patriots' Day in commemoration of the American Revolution and the struggle for independence. Now, therefore, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April 19th, 2019 as Patriots' Day and urge all Cobb County residents to become more knowledgeable of the role which the Revolutionary War played in the history of our country. This is the 9th day of April. Thank you for being here again.
Thank you. It's great to be here. My name is Wayne Brown, and I represent the National Society Sons of the American Revolution, and I am a national trustee of that organization. And I will allow each one of these to introduce themselves that are here with me today.
Good morning. Thanks for having us. My name is Shep Hammock, and I am the state treasurer of the Georgia SAR.
Good morning. My name is Stallings Howell, and I'm secretary of the Captain John Collins chapter, and we are pleased to be here.
My name is Bill Floyd, and I'm proud to be a Cobb County resident, and I am president of the Mount Vernon chapter of the Sons of the American Revolution.
My name is Terry Gibbs. I'm a Cobb County resident. I'm the Northwest Region Vice President, Georgia Society.
thank you for all that you do preserving our history. And just a reminder, April 19th is Patriots Day, and we hope you all recognize these heroes.
Speakers today?
Yes, Chairman, we have one speaker, Mr. Birkenbaum.
Morning, Mr. Chairman.
Morning, David.
Commissioners, County Manager. I hope you received all my emails. I one on environmental terrorists. That one there's a little bit overblown, but it shows the attitude, no matter how small or how big. It shows the attitude of the people, the government, the community, and of the situation it's in. Now, last time I mentioned a little bit on the bias and the discrimination. Anytime we take and change a form and say, well, it meant for outdoor burning. Well, outdoor burning, that covers a lot. Well, no, it's just trash outdoor burning. How do you distinguish between the smoke? Just like in a cafeteria or a restaurant. How do you distinguish between smoke and vaporing? Both of them harm. And then we go to the last meeting when I was trying to get the code, some help on the code change. It showed the bias and the discrimination up on the board as far as I'm concerned. The first word out of my mouth, well, we need to go to the real estate people and warn people that are buying homes that they're in a medical burn ban. Well, what about people that are wanting to buy homes need to know that the people next door to them are burning? There's give and take. But going back to environmental terrorism, Cobb County has a law, and it's not being enforced. You got a letter I sent to you from EPD, and they acknowledge that. You have 13 burns legal in Cobb County. Some of them are legal during the summer, some of them are legal during the day. But you have the law in Cobb County that's intended to promote, safeguard the public health, safety, and comfort. That's our main objective right there on outdoor burning. The biggest one, medical burn bans. We got to protect these people. We got to protect them. Again, we have all these words. We have this fluff. And I had enough fluff when I first started in 2015. It started off, well, they're checking to see with legal to see if they can legally put that fire out. Well, why can't you? It tells you you can extinguish any fire there is. And EPD says the code in Cobb County is more stringent and shall be controlling than the, I need to get it here. I lost. Anyway, you have these certain fires, the exception to the restrictions, that's for the state. Cobb County went a step above that. They went a step above that and gave us these articles that apply to outdoor burning in incorporated Cobb County. They give definitions, clean wood, all this comes from the state. They just adopted it. Fire chiefs shall be authorized. Here we go. Cobb County's laws. He'll be authorized to require extinguishment of any fire. Shall be authorized to ban outdoor burning. Not with exceptions, but we come down here to penalties and violations. How can we violate section 54.113 when we say all the fire pans, the fire pits, all this stuff is legal, when right here it says if you violate any of these sections, you're in violation of the law. I mean, really? Are we this confused? and it goes through the violations, it goes through the fines, it goes, you know. I don't want to smell smoke. I want people not to burn right after it rained. I don't want people to burn next door to me if I have a medical burn ban. I don't want people to burn in the middle of the day and the fog hanging all over Mapleton and nobody says anything. We have drones. I don't know if we have drones in the fire department or not. Send a drone up since we ain't got a tower in Mapleton anymore to spot a fire. But it's got to stop. It's just, I don't know. I just get frustrated sometimes, but I'm not going to quit. And, you know, we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep chugging. Maybe I'll go through this board. Maybe I'll go through the next board. Maybe I'll go through another county manager, another fire chief, another public safety director. But I'm going to keep going, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Birkenbein. All right, so we have going on the consent agenda, and for those who are at home, we're going to scroll through the consent agenda items. We're going to also, I'm going to ask a board to approve to add an agenda item here in a second, but we're going to withdraw number 25, and I'm going to ask the board to approve a modification revision to the consent agenda by adding number 50, which deals with a crane swinging license permit.
And Mr. Chairman, there's a minor amendment to that, right, Rob?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I think that we erred in the duration of the agreement. It should be 18 months versus 14 months, sir. And staff is fine with that particular.
All right, so if we would, go ahead, Commissioner Gamble. Oh, I was going to say, if you'd read the correct wording so we can put it in the record, I just want to make sure that we all see that.
What agreement?
I'm sorry?
Is this the added item?
Yes.
Okay.
So number 50, right. So I just want to make sure that since we have a revision to the revision, I want to make sure that the record properly reflects that the new consent agenda item is going to be for a period of 18 months?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. If the county clerk would record that. Okay. And then, Commissioner Burrow, you have a question or comment about item number 23? Yes.
Just for clarification, Mr. Rawling, we did change the language as discussed yesterday.
For item 23 regarding the funding portion of the agenda item, yes, that was adjusted. So
The locations.
the locations, yes, we were able to identify locations after we drove around yesterday afternoon.
And those changes have been submitted?
Well, those changes were not part of the agenda item, they're part of the agreement, that would be part of what you were voting on. So,
okay.
yes.
So does the agenda item need to say the modified agreement?
No, the agreement was in flux all along, so,
Okay.
so we had not reached final terms on it until yesterday afternoon, or this morning.
So we do have a identified site in District 1?
Some of the sites are nodes or areas, depending upon whether they're able to obtain leases or not. So they're now working within particular property owners to be able to obtain those. So.
Will the agreement come back to us, or is that done?
No, that's not going to share that with you. That's been provided before, but I'll be happy to share with you again. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
because we asked for a list yesterday for all the locations.
Yes.
Well, and that list was provided to us.
Yeah, a month ago.
So nothing, so the
Except
only thing
your
that
district,
is
right.
District 1.
Okay.
Right.
So the final list will come back for approval?
No, that's what we're approving
That's what we're approving today.
Okay.
Because the list has nodes on it rather than specific sites.
Specific
Okay.
sites. Right.
Well, they have
For
options
District 1.
that are
Well, and
viable.
3.
Commissioner Ott, go ahead.
Yeah, the nodes are just for District 1.
Okay.
Other districts, there are specific sites that are
Specific
not.
Right.
And Commissioner Cupid's district, there's a node, but my understanding is they've reached an agreement with the particular leasing at this point.
Right, but I don't know why it's right on like.
Still.
Bill, is
I'll put that, I'll put that in the budget.
4070 Hostel Road.
Yeah.
The ones in District 2 were specific sites, right, Erica? Yeah. Yeah, so the only ones that are nodes are District 1 and District 4.
And I have one.
Okay.
92.
Right.
She has a node in District 1.
And there is one node in District 2 as
Oh, is
well.
there? Okay.
Yeah, Cobb Parkway node.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 nodes so far.
4?
So will we get notice of what is actually approved in those nodes for those signs?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, we all good? All right, so we have nodes and specific sites in the agreement, but the good news is that we'll be advised of where those are. So the commission will be kept in the information as where those final approvals will be based on where they negotiate.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
right. So it just won't show up one day you didn't know about it. That's the big thing for the commissioners to have their concerns allayed. Okay, so I make a motion to add item number 50 to the consent agenda with the revisions as discussed here. Yes. We have a second. I'm sorry?
That was actually 23.
Well,
52. This is just.
we're adding it, right. So we have a second. Any discussion? I'll call the question. Passes 5-0. Okay, so has everybody seen all the items? Okay with that, I now make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as revised. A second. Any discussion? Call the
I
question.
would like to register my no vote on item 23.
Okay, so noted. Call the question, and it passes 5-0 with Commissioner Gambrill voting in opposition to item number 23. All right, so let's go on to the regular agenda and DOT.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. We have 12 items for your consideration this morning, and the first item is to request that the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with CMES, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $1,263,018 for improvements on Favor Road at Windy Hill Road, Osborne High School improvements.
So moved.
Second.
Second discussion, call the question. Passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Our second item is to request that the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with C.W. Matthews Contracting Company, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $5,446,051.50 for construction of Old 41 Highway Bridge over CSX Railroad.
Commissioner Burrow.
Yes, I would just like to let everyone know that the existing bridge will not close. The new bridge will be built beside it, so there won't be any interruption during construction of traffic or anything. And this is a joint project with the City of Marietta. Motion to approve.
Second, any discussion? Call the question. Passes 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item is to request that the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with Baldwin Paving Company, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $1,192,573.59 for construction of Paces Ferry Road sidewalks at CSX.
Commissioner Ott.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question. Passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. For our next item, we would like to request that the Board of Commissioners approve a resurfacing contract 2019-1 countywide major thoroughfares, local maintenance and improvement grant LMIG with Baldwin Paving Company, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $9,245,854.38 for resurfacing of county maintained streets.
Commissioner Ott.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Call the question. Passes 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item, we would like to request that the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with Paulette Tucker Enterprises, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $289,109.50 for asbestos abatement services of 3 complexes on Windy Hill Road, Terrell Mill Road connector.
Commissioner Ott.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Call the question. Passes 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item is to request that the Board of Commissioners approve a change order number 1 final to the contract with Chatfield Contracting, Inc., a savings to the project in the amount of $24,752.05 for drainage system repairs on Creekwood Drive.
Commissioner Ott.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Call the question. Passes.
So, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Passes 5-0.
So busy reading this.
Our next item is to request that the Board of Commissioners approve project number X2749-TO number 1 to the 2018 Master Task Order contract with Low Engineering LLC in an amount not to exceed $69,980 for engineering design of Hickory Grove Place sidewalks.
Commissioner Burrow.
Motion to approve.
Discussion? Call the question. Passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Our next item is to request that the Board of Commissioners approve project number X2769-TO1 to the 2018 Master Task Order contract with Long Engineering, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $331,665 for preliminary engineering design of Old Alabama Road sidewalks.
Commissioner Cupid.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. This will be filling the gap for the areas that already have sidewalks.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Call the question. Passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. The next item is to request that the Board of Commissioners approve the Transportation Enhancement Agreement with the Georgia Department of Transportation for Big Shanty Road sidewalks, state PI number 0010706.
Commissioner Burrow.
Yes. Motion to approve.
Any discussion? Call the question. Passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Our next item is to request that the Board of Commissioners approve a supplemental agreement number 1 to the Consultant Services Agreement with Low Engineering, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $185,120 for preliminary and final engineering design of roadway improvements on Sandtown Road.
Commissioner Gamble.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, Erica, could you just explain for the public, since they're going to see that the supplement agreement's pretty much higher than why it's written that way?
Yes, sir. So we went out to the, and submitted a request for proposals for consultant design on this project. And instead of issuing the full amount for concept and preliminary and final engineering, we issued only the portion for the concept originally, so we could have a better idea of what the final engineering would be based on the conceptual layouts they presented and that we could review. So the original amount was for the concept, and then this amount will take us through final engineering.
And when you were looking at the project from the beginning, you kind of had a rough idea what the cost was going to be. It's just this is the way it's showing up in the agenda.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any other discussion? Call the question. Passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Our next item is to request that the Board of Commissioners approve a supplemental agreement number 1 to project number X2307-TO1 to the 2016 Master Task Order contract with AECom Technical Services, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $2,295 for additional engineering design of intersection improvements on Hicks Road at Concord Road.
Commissioner Cupid.
So moved. Very glad to see this moving forward.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a second? Any discussion? Call the question. Passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. And our last item is to request that the Board of Commissioners authorize the sole source procurement of Sydney Coordinated Adaptive Traffic Signals, or SCATS, traffic signal controller software licenses at a cost not to exceed $88,267 for traffic signal timing.
Commissioner Ott.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Call the question. Passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Erica. Now, Public Services, Parks.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Manager. Our item this morning is for the board to approve the ranking of the top qualified firms to develop construction documents and provide construction administration at Old Clarkdale Park. In 2018, the board approved the master plan for this park, which is located in the Clarkdale Mill Village. An RFQ was advertised for these services, and they were reviewed and resulted in a rank ordering of the following firms: Cooper Carey Incorporated, number 1, Pond and Company, number 2, and Croft and Associates, number 3. Therefore, we ask the Board of Commissioners to approve the ranking of the top qualified firms to develop construction documents and provide construction administration at Old Clarkdale Park, and to authorize negotiations with Cooper Carey under the 2016 Park Splash Program.
Commissioner Cupid.
So moved.
All right, any discussion? Call the question. Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Now, Public Safety.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners, County Manager. Cobb Fire has one item, that's to authorize the reallocation of project fund savings to Fire Station 1, Project X102, Program X1021. On November 4th, 2014, the voters approved 2016 Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax program to fund capital improvement projects countywide. The Cobb County Fire and Emergency Services 2016 SPLOST projects include the replacement of the mobile command unit in the amount not to exceed $1.5 million, the purchase of an airport crash foam unit for coverage at the Cobb County International Airport in the amount not to exceed $1 million, and the relocation of Fire Station 1 to land already purchased by the county in the amount not to exceed $3.3 million. The Mobile Command Unit Project X1063 and the Airport Crash Foam Unit Project X1062 have been completed with a combined savings of $200,401.71. The savings from these 2016 SPLOST projects in the amount of $200,401.71 will offset any shortage to the 2016 SPLOST project for the build and relocation of Fire Station 1 due to the significant increase in construction costs for materials and labor. Recommendation is that the Board of Commissioners authorize the reallocation of 2016 SPLOST project fund savings in the amount of $200,401.71 to the 2016 SPLOST Fire Station 1 project X102 Program X1021. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Cupid.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Call a question? Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Is there any further comment? All right, so we have a number of appointments, some just for announcements and some for approval. So let's start with mine. I'm going to announce the appointment of Sam Heaton to the Neighborhood Safety Commission, and to announce the appointment of Ronald M. Roberts to the Transit System Advisory Board. Commissioner Gamble, I believe you have the next two appointments.
Yes, I'd like to approve the reappointment of Mark Searfoss to the Cemetery Preservation Committee.
Okay, do we have a second? We have a second. Any discussion? Call the vote.
And then I'd also like to make a motion to approve the reappointment of,
Passes 5-0.
I thought I pushed it.
Yeah.
Okay. You gonna pronounce? No.
44.
Okay, I want to make sure it was.
Yeah, we're good.
And then I'd like to make a motion to approve the reappointment of CB Fair to the Airport Advisory Board.
I see, that's just your announcement. You own that one. You don't need our vote.
I don't need a vote.
Congratulations, yeah.
Thank you.
Successful. Hey, Commissioner Burrow.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, we had an airport advisory meeting yesterday, and CB was there, so. Okay, I would like to make a motion to approve the appointment of Smith Peck to the Development Authority of Cobb County.
Okay, have a second. Any discussion? Call the vote. It passes 5-0.
And I'd also like to announce the reappointment of Cherie Newton to the Transit Advisory Board.
Okay, great. And now, Commissioner comments. I'll start with you, Commissioner Burrow.
I'm a little long-winded.
Sir, no, don't.
Start my clock. I would like to say thank you to Keep Cobb Beautiful, the DPS maintenance for supplying the grill, and Keep Cobb Beautiful for supplying materials and supplies, and the East Side Baptist Church, excuse me, the Knights of Columbus at Holy Family for sponsoring lunch at Tall Pines Cleanup Day this past Saturday. Thank you to all the volunteers who showed up to contribute your time and efforts in the cleanup of the neighborhood. This is one of Officer Natalie Jegg's, our Community Engagement Officer for Precinct 4's project that we do every year in my district, and thank her for organizing everything and all the contributions. Okay, we have another veteran adoption, and this one was at the Governor's Mansion. A couple Saturdays ago, First Lady Marty Kemp hosted an animal adoption day at the Governor's Mansion, and our public safety animal services trailer was there with 6 dogs. And this little fellow right here is a puppy, a 3-month-old puppy from the shelter, and he was adopted by Air Force veteran Mr. Grace. So
How many dogs is that now?
he makes 83. And I'd like to also thank the First Lady for hosting this event. There were 17 vendors there from humane societies to animal shelters and rescue groups. And I think they adopted 25 to 30 animals that day. So it was a great event. And I'd also like to thank Superior Plumbing and Cobb County Animal Shelter for all that they do for this program and for our pet adoptions. Okay, April 11th, and I don't know if you're announcing this, but the Davis Direction Recovery Roundtable. Okay. You're invited to attend the Davis Direction Foundation Symposium entitled Solutions to Substance Use Disorder. Oh, okay. Hear the Roundtable Leadership Council members and GBI Director Vic Reynolds to understand the community approach and solutions to substance abuse. It will be held Thursday, April 11th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Marietta First United Methodist Church, 56 Whitlock Avenue. And there's some flyers in the back, and come see Commissioner Ott. April 13th is Medical Disposal Day. Precinct 1 and Keep Cobb Beautiful will be hosting this from 10 to 2, 2380 Cobb Parkway. For more information, you can go to keepcobbbeautiful.com, and there are also flyers outside to take home. There's also Keep Cobb Beautiful on April 27th is sponsoring a community recycling event for electronics, textiles, appliances, and more. It's Saturday, April 27th from 9 to 1 at Jim Miller Park, 2245 Callaway Road. And you can visit Keep Cobb Beautiful to find out the items that will be accepted. And last but not least, and I don't know, are you announcing those CTP meetings? Mm-hmm. Okay.
You want to do that?
No. But there are flyers in the back with the schedule and all the locations for the CTP meetings.
With that segue, I believe I'll turn over to Commissioner Ott.
Okay.
Okay, so you already heard about April 11th, but one of the things that's at the symposium is the county drug trailer, the Cope House. And yesterday on the Channel 46 News, the county got some real positive shout outs about the efforts that the zone and the county are doing to try to address the issue. That will be on display for parents because we don't let anyone under 18 in to see it. And as Commissioner Burrow mentioned, the first comprehensive transportation plan meeting is on the 10th, but the ones that are in District 2, the first one is on April 17th at the Smyrna Community Center. That one's from 7 to 9. And the one that's in East Cobb at the library starts at 6:30, and that's because the library is closed at 8:30. So that one, all the rest of them are from 7 to 9. You can go to DOT's website to see this full schedule of all the different meetings, but just remember that the one at the East Cobb Library is from 6:30 to 8:30. All the rest are from 7 to 9. I want to thank the Catholic Church of St. Anne's for hosting my town hall last week. I'm not sure that we would have fit anywhere else if we hadn't been there. We had about 600 people. It was a crowd. I was told that it was more than you guys have at Easter Sunday. It's Commissioner Burrow and County Managers Rob Hosak's church. But anyway, thank you very much for hosting the town hall. And I would also like to take a minute to thank some of our staff for taking time to go above and beyond 100% of their time to resolve some district issues. The first one is Nicole Zavanet, the Administrative Assistant for Department of Public Safety. A constituent in the district was having difficulty with the county's false alarm unit. Her alarm had gone off and she received no notification. And when it occurred the second time, of course, she got the fine. and $50. And she could take an online course. She tried to sign up, was locked out of the system. She tried contacting the customer service number, couldn't get a response. She continued getting notices, and that had been going on for over a year. So she called the office. My assistant Kim reached out to Nicole, and within like no time at all, Nicole had it all resolved. Got the lady, took care of the citation numbers, got her into the class. We waived her fee, and now she has the number of an actual person. So she was extremely excited to be able to talk to a real person. So great job, Nicole. The next one is Kathy Pickett, Code Enforcement Manager, someone that everyone loves because we can say that she is the one that takes care of things. We were notified about an ongoing problem in the neighborhood that appeared to be a business. The person calling and taking numerous pictures of the situation, of the trucks, the trailers going out into the street. An email was sent to Kathy at 9:21 in the morning. And by 11:18, we got an email back from the constituents saying, wow, you work fast. And it is so appreciated. She was at her daughter's right now and saw the code enforcement truck drive up. She said, thank you, thank you. Holding my breath to see if something positive comes of this. Now, of course, Kathy, humble as she is, she just said, oh, well, she was able to work Officer Lloyd into it, and he's pretty awesome. And definitely they were running a business. So then Kathy took care of it and got the stuff cleaned up. And then the last person, and this is kind of a crew, but I have this wonderful constituent named Dixie. And anytime Dixie calls, it's always a fun conversation, either for Kim or myself. And she refers to herself as the oldest living librarian in Cobb County. She helps take care of her neighborhood and is so happy that her street is in Cobb County and not in Smyrna. It's like literally like across the street. That she always says that at the beginning of her calls. So she has an empty lot across the street that's a right-of-way that required mowing 1 or 2 times a year. So she called and reminded us that it needed to be trimmed. And within a day, Dallas Kane and his crew were out there, and they, as Dixie described it, Lordy, it was the largest piece of equipment she had ever seen. And she went on to say that the right-of-way had never looked that good in all these years. And then she said that 2 days later, Dallas's crew was back blowing off the debris and cleaning the sidewalk area. So she said she stuck her head out the window and thanked him over and over for the best job ever. So kudos to Dallas Kane and his crew. And that's all I have.
Mr. Gamble.
Thank you. As Commissioner Ottenborel alluded, we do have our first session of the Cobb Ford public meetings. The first one will be in District 1, will be Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. at the West Cobb Senior Center. I'd also like to remind everyone of the event going on April 13th at Green Meadows Preserve. It's going to be the Cobb Police Athletic League's 5K. The event registration begins at 7 a.m. and the race will start at 8. And they have events for a tot trot for 6 and younger, all the way up to whoever shows up. So we hope to see a lot of people out there. I didn't say old people.
She looked at me.
I said,
she did. She looked at me. Yeah.
All people. I'm just thankful I can move. So we hope to see everyone there on Wednesday. And then also just like to make some general announcements regarding Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield. Starting on April 8th, which was yesterday, specific parking lots and roads within the Kennesaw Mountain Battlefield Park will be closed for a paving project. This project will last approximately 2 weeks. Second, Mountain Road will be paved on April 8th. Pedestrian hikers and joggers are asked to refrain from using the mountain road while the paving project is underway. Stripping of the mountain road will occur the following, or I'm sorry, restriping of mountain road will occur the following week. Also, the visitor center parking lot will be closed beginning April 9th, which is today, and will remain closed through April 12th to allow for paving of the lot and service roads. Visitors may park at the old Highway 41 overflow lot to access the park during that time. The Visitor Center parking lot will also be closed on April 15th for striping. There will be other temporary short-term parking closures at the entrance of the Visitor Center parking lot on Stylesboro Road beginning April 16th. The old Highway 41 overflow parking lot will be closed April 17th through the 19th. Visitors then may park in the main lot during that time, and I will have all this information in my newsletter. Then we are on the next picture. The Illinois Monument Road and parking lot at Cheatham Hill Road parking lot will be closed April 22nd through the 23rd. Temporary short-term closures will occur also on the 24th and 25th for striping. And that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Cupid.
Yes, thank you. I encourage everyone to sign up for the newsletter as there are a number of events and announcements. I'm going to share some of those with you, starting with the Riverside Parkway Tenants Meeting, which will occur on Wednesday in conjunction with Legal Aid, Cobb County Solicitor's Office, and Cobb County Apartment Inspectors and Code Enforcement. And that's this Wednesday at 5 p.m. It will be in the Old Magnolia Crossing Complex parking area located at 490 Riverside Parkway. And that is weather permitting. Hopefully we won't have a rainy day like we're having today. There's a call for volunteers to participate in our Meals on Wheels program, and encourage you to contact Cobb Senior Services if interested. Also, Easter is coming up, and the largest Easter egg hunt will be held at Al Bishop Softball Complex in Marietta. It will start at 4 p.m. and go all the way until about 8 p.m. with various times set aside based on ages of children. My next town hall meeting will be Tuesday, April 16th at 7 p.m. at Linked Up Church, which is located off of Brownsville Road, and encourage you to attend to learn about different things going on in the district and county. Also, this summer, as every summer, the commissioners invite people to intern with us, and the application will be posted on April 15th at Cobb County's Human Resources page, and we encourage you to please sign up. Not only do the commissioners have opportunities, but so do our various departments and agencies. Youth also have opportunity to participate in Cobb Youth Leaderships Program, and applications need to be submitted by Friday, April 19th. I've been told that participation in District 4 has been lower in years past, and there is a cost to participate, but there are some organizations willing to help offset those costs if any youth are interested. I'd like to encourage our community to help support the first inaugural International Festival, which will be held here in Cobb on Saturday, August 3rd. There is a vendor sign up that's available online at cobbinternationalfest.com. And we're encouraging people from all nationalities and walks of life to participate in helping to educate our community about who's all in our community. As was stated, we have a variety of transportation plan meetings set throughout the county to talk about what different options can be available through our transit initiative and just throughout Cobb in general. We do this every 5 years, which is why it's very important that we have participation to move District 4 projects along. And our district meeting will be held in the city of Austell on Tuesday, April 30th from 7 to 9 p.m. And we'll have one that will follow in May at the South Cobb Community Center on May 9th, specifically at 7 p.m. There are a number of races going on this upcoming weekend, including PAL and the one that celebrates Sarcoidosis Month, but one that I have to participate in this year is Sweetwater Mission Spring Fling Run. And I encourage you to please come out and support the work that they've been doing. We recently celebrated their 50-year anniversary last year, and you can help to raise money for that organization. The sign up for it is at springchickenrun.com, and this will be held in the historic Powder Springs area. Lastly, want to encourage our seniors or those who are, have close seniors in your life to encourage them to come out to a senior citizen prom. This is going to be hosted by this year's Leadership Cobb 19 class at Life University on Friday, April 26, 2019. Space is limited to about 200 participants. So if you know of any seniors that would get particular joy out of coming out and having a good time with others, please encourage them to register for this event. You can register online at golden-gala-2019.com. You could certainly reach out to my office, and I can also get you in touch with the organizers of that event. Thank you.
With that, we're adjourned.